Hey y'all, so I was currently reading the Bible in my car, but I want to read to you guys Job 28, verse 20 through 28. I really believe God put this on my spirit to spread this message to you guys, but before I do that, I just want to give you guys a quick summary that I am going to only be posting shorter videos on social media. My bulker videos are now going to be on YouTube because, like I said previously, people have, we're so used to just watching 1 minute videos or 30-second videos on every social media platform. So, and I feel like unfortunately, a lot of people have short attention spans when it comes to social media. So YouTube is definitely going to be the main platform that I post my longer videos on. So if you want to really receive the bulk messages about God, and you just want to grow in more knowledge of God, more wisdom, you want to understand more, you want to know more, you just want to grow in your relationship with God and grow in your faith and all of that good stuff, then you should definitely give my YouTube a subscribe and turn on your post notifications, because that's where I'm going to be posting the bulker videos. And social media, I'm just going to be sending the shorter stuff, which this one's going to be short. So as that being said, in Job 28, verse 20 through 28, it says, "But do people know where to find wisdom? Where can they find understanding? It is hidden from the eyes of all humanity. Even the sharp-eyed birds in the sky cannot discover it. Destruction and death say, 'We've heard only rumors of where wisdom can be found.' God alone understands the way to wisdom. He knows where it can be found. For he looks throughout the whole earth and sees everything under the heavens. He decided how hard the wind should blow and how much rain should fall. He made the laws for the rain and laid out a path for the lightning. Then he saw wisdom and evaluated it, and he set it in place and examined it thoroughly. And this is what he says to all humanity: the fear of the Lord is true wisdom. To forsake evil is real understanding." So to summarize this all means that if you really want to grow in true wisdom, if you really want to understand life, if you really want to understand why we're here, if you just want to understand why everything is happening, like, a lot of us, we tend to question life. We tend to try to look throughout the world for answers. We tend to look throughout the world to get our questions answered. But the only way how you're going to be able to get all those questions that you have answered, and the only way how you're going to be able to grow in true wisdom, is if you have God in your life and you give your life to him. Because God is the ultimate wisdom. Because you guys got to understand that God limited our understanding for a reason, So we have to have God in our lives if we want to understand things. We have to have God in our lives if we want to understand true wisdom. And the first part of wisdom is, of grasping true wisdom, is when you start fearing God. When you start fearing God, everything else is just gonna, start molding. Because God even said in his word that the first start of wisdom is the fear of the Lord. So if you truly want to grow in wisdom, if you truly want all your questions answered, give your life to God and watch your questions get answered. And I can tell that through experience, because I used to be like this for a very, very long time in my life before I gave my life to God my sophomore year of high school. In the past, y'all, for a very long time in my life, I used to question life. I used to question why we're here. I used to just question a lot, and I always looked at the wrong places to try to find that understanding, the scientists, these, just a bunch of just these people and these things that's really not helping me, when all I had to do was go to God. And the minute I gave my life to God, y'all, I'm telling y'all, I have grown in so much wisdom, and that's because of God and because he lives inside of me. So since he lives inside of me, I have that wisdom that he's given me because he lives inside of me, because I serve and follow him. And you can have the same thing. But the only way how you're going to be able to obtain that is if you really try to start following God, And another way how you can gain wisdom is if you read your word. Read your Bible on your own. Don't rely on a pastor. Don't rely on other people to read the word for you. You got to read it yourself. Because this is a personal relationship between you and God. So you got to read your word yourself. You can't just rely on other people to do it for you, And I just hope that this is just an encouragement for anyone who really wants to just start understanding things, really start seeing things in a different perspective, start understanding things in a different perspective, And once you give your life to God, I'm telling you, you're going to be able to start doing that. And I'll give y'all this too. Throughout my life, the smartest and the wisest people, the people who keeps it real, the wisest people I've ever met in my life has been people. The wisest people I've met in my life has been people who's been truly following God, who's been truly walking with him. Those are the wisest people, y'all, I've met in my entire life. You know, and you can ask any other person who follows God. You can ask any, you know what I'm saying, any follower of God in general. The wisest people, the wisest humans I've ever met in my entire life. It wasn't no Elon Musk. It wasn't no Trump. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't these famous scientists or any of them. It was literally just children of God. It was children of God. Every time when I needed to understanding, every time when I needed some knowledge, some wisdom, you know, when I talk to another believer, bro, they gave me the wisest advice, the wisest just talks I've ever heard in my entire life. And then when I gave my life to God, I started seeing things in a different perspective. I started understanding things in a different perspective. I started moving in a different perspective because what God showed me is true wisdom. And you can have the same thing. And the only way how you're going to obtain wisdom is if you follow God. So I just hope this was an encouragement. I hope this was a motivation. Continue to stick with God. Continue to grow closer towards him. Continue to let him teach you and mold you. And I'm telling you, man, you're going to grow just so much in wisdom, all because of who you serve and follow. So, yeah, I hope this was an encouragement, and y'all have a good night.